Alrighty, let me slide y'all on around a little bit right here. One thing I always have when I do this here is a bucket, because you're gonna have to sit down. Now what you have to do, now that the wind's blowing, I come here, you don't have to cut those out because of where they're at, but you do want to nip this one off. And the reason why I do that is so I can take my fencing pliers and grab a hold of this and loosen it up. That way it slides a whole lot easier. Now some people might not do this. They might want to wrestle with it, and that is a 100% fine. When you're doing this, do it however you want to do it. But this is the way I figured out. It's a little easier on me as far as getting the stuff off. And if you keep twisting these things, you can actually pop them off without cutting the fence, but we're gonna cut the fence, and I don't see any need to do anything else. But see, you got these wires. That's the reason why we got the bucket. But I'm gonna come about right here and cut that. See how easy those slide off? If I hadn't have done that, we'd have to fight with them. Sometimes you can separate them and they come off a little bit easier also. But what we're going to do with this, being this one, I can't wrap it on here because of the way the pole is. We're going to have to figure out something a little different with it. But we are going to have to end up cutting that wire. So what I'm going to do is knock it on closer to the pole. Because what happens, if with it being way out, when you go to wrap, you have to have more wires cut for it to work out. You should wear safety glasses doing this. So if you want to wear safety glasses, wear safety glasses. These right here are fencing pliers. You might not have never seen them before. You can use them as a hammer. They're good for pulling staples. You can actually cramp the little cramps with them if you need to. And it's also got two places where you can cut wire. And then there's another little thing right here. And you can also pull staples with the back side of this. If I can remember it, I'll put a link to these in the description below. But what we do here is I'll pull my wire around. And what I've got in the habit of doing is putting a staple right in there. That way your wire stays good and tight. And you wrap this with this little tool. I'll also try to find a tool like this and put it in the subscription below. There'll be affiliated links. And then you just wrap. Now when I'm done doing all this wrapping and stuff, I'll actually put some more staples in it on the other side. And I always like to fix these where they're pointing down. That way they don't get onto anything. I always leave my top wire and my bottom wire for last. That's what helps hold everything good and tight and straight. Now these are my cheap pair of fencing pliers. I can't find my good pair. But these will work either way. And once again, I push those two wires together, put this on there, and just pull around. Because what it is there's two tag ends on this. If you can get your pliers on those tags, on the tag ends or whatever, it helps loosen them up a little bit easier. and pushing the wires together actually lines those two pieces up. As far as the other end, and you can get on the wire a little bit easier. Now when I get down here, I normally try to go every other one. Until I get most of my wires on. Gloves will also be a good thing doing this, because you can hit your arm or your hand on that and it will split it open. Another thing you can do to make sure you get your wires good and tight is you can take these fencing pliers and grab a hold of your wire and actually pull it like that. And just like the, if you've seen my other video, the lower you get down on this, the more of a pain in the butt it gets to wrapping, because you kind of run out of room. So what I'm going to do is cut this off a little shorter to make it easier to wrap it. They don't always end up being all pretty, but we do the best we can. So there we go. The only thing left to do is now the top and the bottom. The bottom's always a pain in the butt. The top normally ain't that bad. The gnats are terrible out here today. And being this is the top one, you always want your top and your bottom one to stay good and tight. So I'm gonna put a few extra staples in this. Just to make sure it stays good and tight. Now this one here, like I said a while ago, I can't wrap it like I need to. So I'm gonna put a pretty good amount of staples in it also. that right there is my nail that's holding my my cross member in. What I'll do, I'll cut this wire off right here. Stick it in here. After I put another good staple in it. So there we go. I'm gonna do the bottom one off camera. Probably what I'll do is I'll double wrap it and just put staples in it, because there's no way for me that I figured out how to wrap that and it stay worth the crap. So that's how I wrap my poles. When I get through with that bottom piece, I'll bring you back and we'll do a close up on it. All right, so all I did there was I just double wrapped the bottom and put plenty of staples in it. Is that the best way to do it? Probably not. Is that the only way to do it? There's lots of ways to do all of this stuff. This is just the way I do it. And if you'll look, I'm actually not too terribly bad about it. We got just a little bit of a bend right there, but for the most part, that could be because of the wire not being like it's supposed to be, but she's good and tight. That right there could be because them wires are bent just a little bit to the side. If your wires aren't squared up like they're supposed to be, sometimes your fence will get a little wavy on you. But that's it for now on that. That's how we do the wrap on the stuff we did. They're not all beautiful, but they won't come loose. Those down there look kind of bad. But that's the way I wrap my poles when I do my woven wire fence. And I also use that when I do my connectors and stuff for my my fence. And my fence is on, so I can't really go around the corner here and show you how I did this, but that's my corner pieces I did. I got to loosen that fence up and fix that. And some of y'all might be asking yourself, why in the world did you use those? The good thing about those is I can loosen the fence up and fix that. If I use the other ones, you have to cut the wire, put another piece on, and then go through and do it again. Well, you have to cut the wire twice. You have to cut your wire on the on your pole so you can put your connector back on, and then you have to cut the wire. No, you don't. You only have to cut one wire. This way, I don't have to cut anything. I can actually just pull that out, put another connector in, and go on with it. That connector could have been a used one I put on there, and it's just messed up. I was trying to find, I thought I had some more of my corner pieces on here, but I guess I don't. They're back up at the barn. But anyway, that's how I wrap my fence and all that good stuff. If you got any questions about that, just let me know. Leave them in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, how about hitting the subscribe button? Most of my views on my channel, I think it's 70% are unsubscribed viewers. So if you're new to the channel, this is your first one you watch, how about subscribing? And I'll stick around so you can see our videos when they come out again. We love you. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one.